We're back, and we've got a trivia question for you.
If you had a television set back in 1956-57, you should be able to identify the three people with Barney Potts in this scene. Who are they, and what is the name of the series?
A little clue, the show is named after her, and the guy on the right was a quarterback. Now back to our next guest. Davie Fulton has been called the spiritual godfather of the Conservative Party. For a short time in the early 60s, he led the BC Tory Party until its defeat at the hands of the Social Credit's W.A.C. Bennett. His upbringing was a formal one in a family where politics was second nature. Later at Oxford, this Rhodes Scholar left behind the idyllic Kamloops of his childhood.
Lived there from the time I was born in 1916 to 1968. I had three brothers. There were four of us boys, and we had a wonderful childhood and young manhood growing up in Kamloops. It was and still is a beautiful place, beautiful country, and I have always felt that I had such a wonderful upbringing that I owe the country that gave it to me and a great deal. On my mother's side, both her father and her uncle, my grandfather and great uncle, were in provincial politics, and both of them were premiers of British Columbia. It was in the last century before. And my father was both in provincial politics and in the government of British Columbia and in federal parliament. He served a term as member of parliament for the Kamloops area. So I had a tradition in that sense to follow.
In '45, your friends had done something rather surprising for you.
Yeah, the letter started out, "Dear Davie, some of us, we were wondering whether you might agree to run as our candidate." And then it obviously taken 2 or 3 days had passed, and it ended up, as a matter of fact, we had a meeting last night and nominated you, so we hope you'll accept. So that was,
That's very funny.
Yeah, that was my first election then in 1945.
He won that election and so began a long political career. At 41, as Justice Minister in the Diefenbaker cabinet, he discovered firsthand the awkwardness of amending a London-based constitution and was inspired to help draw up the formula for its patriation.
When our term of office began to run out at the end of 62, 63, and the political climate deteriorated, but that formula was there and the agreement was there. It was taken over by the Pearson government after they were elected, and Mr. Favreau made 1 or 2 changes, and it became known then as the Fulton-Favreau formula for the patriation of the Constitution. So I regard that as that was all there when Mr. Trudeau came along later, and although he didn't adopt that specifically, the process had been there, and I understand that it was a good background for the constitutional process that went on after that. So I was very happy to have been involved in and that close to success. I'm just sorry that we didn't get complete success while we were in office.
Are you ever going to retire?
Oh, yes, I have to. I'm very fortunate in that I enjoy good health at my age, and I hope to enjoy good health for the rest of my life. But my wife and I want to do some traveling, for instance. There is a great deal of that and other things to be done, and I'd like to do that while I still have the health and the vigor to really enjoy it. And I've had a pretty full life, but so I'm not anxious to down tools and stop work, but and there's always a garden to look after, and there's lots of golf to play. So I would have, I think, a very happy retirement.
No matter what accomplishments George Hungerford may eventually leave as a legacy, he'll always be remembered as the rowing partner to Roger Jackson, who stunned the Olympic rowing world by winning the gold in the 2,000-meter coxless pairs event at the 1964 Summer Games in Tokyo. He's since been honored with the Order of Canada, the Hugh Marsh Award, and countless other awards. When he first started rowing, however, it was as a member of the UBC 8s.
I tried out for the 8-oar crew, and I made the Canadian team rowing the 8. And that was in the summer of 1964. And we rowed and competed and succeeded in the 8 in Henley and St. Catharines, Ontario. In August, I was diagnosed as having mononucleosis and decided that, I didn't decide, the doctor decided I was going to bed. About the second week of September, I got out of bed. So I turned out again, but it was obvious that I wasn't strong enough, obvious to the coach anyways, that I wasn't going to make it in the 8-oar crew. Roger Jackson was there, and he had been going to row a pair in the Olympics, and the fellow he was rowing with was put into my seat. And so what they did was they relegated me to row the pair with Roger.
What do you remember most about the gold medal race?
First thing I remember is when they called the Et vous prêt partir, the starting call, was that the worst thing that can happen when you start a boat is for one of the oarsmen to go too deep and catch what we call a frog, just to go deep, and that tends to turn the boat over, and in fact it can turn the boat right over. And on the first start, that's exactly what I did. I went deep. Roger was off balance, and the shell almost, almost went right off, right over. Fortunately, someone had false started. So that gave us a second chance. Second time, we didn't make any mistakes.
Was that actually a relief to be out on the course and just get on with it?
Get on with it. That first stroke is so important. I mean, it's really important to get a good start. We had rowed a very strong course and had the race under control, but in the last 300 or 400 meters in particular, I was starting to tire. And although I had been recovering and improving all the time, my endurance was improving, I still was certainly not up to what I consider to be my peak condition. So in those last 200 or 300 meters, I was starting to fade. Now in a pair oar event, each one of you has one oar, and the stronger oarsman just has to slow down. So crossing the finish line 3/100ths of a second ahead of the Dutch, that's close. That's a close race. I rowed the following year, and Roger and I rowed over in the Henley in England, and that was a marvelous summer. But I think I think psychologically I knew the end of my rowing career was done. I was off to other challenges, and rowing was just one of those along the road.
Truly, time does not permit to the telling of the multitude of charities, causes, and boards that George sits on. Plus, he continues to run one of the busiest law firms and families in Vancouver.
Davie Fulton now practices law in Vancouver and is working on the Lubicon Indian land dispute.
Okay, Lynn, how about giving the answer to our trivia question?
All right, the people with Barney Potts are singer Terry Dale, announcer Bob Switzer, and Edmonton Eskimos quarterback Jackie Parker.
Incidentally, this is a scene from the Terry Dale Show, which features Terry and the Rhythm Pals singing True Love. Lynn, what movie introduced that song?
Oh, that's easy. High Society, starring Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, and my all-time favorite singer, Frank Sinatra. Mike Furby, tenor and bass player, Jack Jensen, lead singer and guitarist, and Mark Wald on the accordion. Together, they were the Rhythm Pals, fixtures on the Canadian country music scene since way back in 1946, when they made their debut on CKNW radio. Their perfect three-part vocal harmonies made the Rhythm Pals a household name for over 3 decades. Well, we've got Mike and Jack here, but we don't have Mark. Where's Mark?
Mark is retired. Mark retired about a little over a year ago, and he's living in Nanaimo. And we were going to retire too, but I asked Mike one time, I said, would you want to retire? He said, not really. I said, okay, let's go for a few more years. The people still want us, so we thought, the heck with it, we'll keep going.
Yeah, you're having fun.
Oh, sure we are. Oh, sure, it's fun.
When we started out, there wasn't too many people that what we did. Like we sang like trio, plus we accompanied ourselves, like, instrumentally, so we can go out and do a show. We didn't have to worry about a band or anything. And it was unique in that because nobody really did it then, and as we went along with the music, like, whenever music changed, there was clips of music or something coming in, we'd learn that. So we weren't just strictly in the Western and country field. We just, the Ames Brothers did a song, we'd do the Ames Brothers, and the Mills Brothers do a song, so we just went along as music, and all the latest pop stuff, if you knew it, we'd do it. Here on the range I belong, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed.
You had a great life back then, didn't you?
Oh,
it really, they say the good old days, they were, because entertainment was different then. Like, people used to come out, and there wasn't so much television, and there wasn't so much all these video things you can get now. Then you go out there and you go to a dance, and you have fun. And it's like a big party. That's what it was most of the time.
And the places we opened on Kingsway, we opened Camel. Well, we did shows for all the Super Value, all those stores. We used to play our, you know, like outside and do the shows and things.
I remember you did a lot of radio jingles in those days. You're probably the first jingle singers in the city, weren't you?
Bill Ray used to have on NW, Are You Listening? You know, he did a jingle, so we used to go, Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
We've done it again. The jackpot has been won. We've done it again.
Now so-and-so has won $10, whatever it is, you know, for the best story.
It was a lot of fun doing the Burns Chuck Wagon show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. He was.
But Don Franks, who's living in Toronto now.
Pat Kirkpatrick.
Pat Kirkpatrick.
Ray McAllister.
God bless Lorraine. She's, you know, she was a dear, dear lady. And Barney. Barney was the
cook.
Was he the cook?
Cook,
He was the cook.
Yeah.
There were some funny things on that show.
Cowboys and Indians, yip, 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 your way. Got the shooting, yelp, and yippee-yay. Arrows flying through the air, bullets buzzing here and there. Folks are hiding everywhere from cowboys and Indians.
I guess you're pretty happy with the way your career turned out, aren't you?
Yeah, the only thing we never done was Vegas. We've done everything else, and you know, maybe never too late, you know.
Listen, man, I would be like that.
Do you get nervous?
Sure, I get nervous before everything. Every show we do. It was good. Last night I was going to sing Cab Driver. Forgot the words. So I'm saying, Mike, what's the words? What's the word? Completely lost because I was nervous. I was uptight.
You think you'll be playing 5 years from now?
I don't know. Because my wife says that you better get a hobby, Jack, or you're going to drive me crazy. So.
Well, because, you know, when you're away from home a lot, you come home there, now you interrupt what they got a routine, and it's okay for months with that, but now get out of the house, you know, or do something, you know.
We'll do things around the Kelowna area and Penticton, you know, just
Vancouver.
Vancouver,
you know,
we don't.
Play for wakes and weddings and bar mitzvahs, you know, whatever. You.
The Pals have spent the summer performing in the Prairie Provinces and at the Calgary Stampede.
Well, that's a wrap for us. Next week, I visit with world-class swimmer Elaine Tanner, and I talk to Expo's Man of the Year, Jim Pattison.
We'll hear the sweet jazz sounds of Fraser McPherson, and I talk with writer and humorist Eric Nichol.
We're going to leave it with Wagon Wheels by the Rhythm Pals from the 1954 Burns Chuck Wagon series. Good night, Lynn.
Good night, Terry.
Good night, all.
Sing your song, wagon wheels, carry me home. Wagon wheels, carry me home.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today is the 26th of August, and the time right now is 6:35. Pulling out of this rest area in Elkhart, Indiana, near South Bend off of 80, the turnpike here. Man, it was storming like crazy earlier. I'm just now getting my day started. I figured I'd let you guys ride with me as I pulled out the little service plaza. But I'm headed to Woodridge, Illinois. The sun's coming up behind me. But unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to really get anything with it because it's behind me. But oh well. I thought last night on the way out here that I'd be able to get the sunset, but it just really wasn't the perfect day for that. It was all clouded over and whatnot. But breakfast this morning is Velveeta. It's a golden oat thing. Little bar. It's pretty healthy. It's got no gluten or none of that artificial junk in it. TMC truck. It must be like a dedicated account. But yeah, but just to give you rookies a tip, sometimes at these truck stops, these rest areas and service plazas and whatnot, pretty much this is the rule. If it fits, then that's where you stay at for the night. And that pretty much means it's not always going to be a parking spot for you. So it's creative parking. If it fits and it's not in the way, I'll let you guys see this construction real quick. I don't know why this impatient four-wheeler. Oh, wow. Well, that wasn't construction. I hope they're all right. That was a day cab. It looked like ABF. Or no, not USF Holland. Ran into the back of a flatbed and knocked the coil off the damn flatbed. Like, how fast are you going that you almost, well, not almost, that you knocked the coil off a damn flatbed? It was all jacked up. I wish I had the camera mounted on my head so I could have pointed it over there. Oh, man. That was, whoa. Guys had to get fuel before, but I'm just gonna throw it in here. Use your card. Then your rewards card. Oh, well, here you have to enter the DOT number. You find that on the side of the truck. So it's 53467. So 53467. And then you swipe your Ultra One card. Alright, unit number, which is the tractor number, driver ID. You guys get to look at me for that. I don't want any extra Michaels at the Warner terminal. But the hub, which is the mileage on the truck. 340328 is mine. Yours will be different, but if you just happen to have that same number, then you're the shiznit. I pressed the wrong button, tractor fuel, and then skip because I don't need any cash. No additional products, and I can begin fueling. Alright, I think I told you this before, but that's the main side. If you turn that side off over there before you get this side done, it's not going to fuel for you no more, because that is going to cancel the transaction, pretty much saying that you're done. You're done fueling and you don't need no more fuel. But now you guys that need reefer fuel, you're going to have to ask the homie Sin about that, because I don't know if it works like that, like to just keep that side out and then pull up, but then fill up the tank. I have no clue. You got to ask Sin about that. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but we're at 50 gallons already, and it's almost $200. Crazy. I want to say one of my co-workers got in a wreck right here in near Gary, Indiana.
Are you alright right there, Warner?
Look, see, they're giving people these new T680s, and they wrecking the damn things. But they can't give me one. Nose of my tractor away from the our main focus is getting ready for the express trailer. Alright, so now I'm away from that trailer, so now I'm about to focus on lining up in the dock. Alright, to the right. So, pretty close to that little bit of line right here. I'm turning left a little bit, now we're going to turn hard left and tuck back to the trailer. Pretty straight out of the trailer now. On the other side. Now, push it back there to the dock. There we go. Alright, y'all, before this thing dies, I just wanted y'all to see what I was talking about when I seen this US Express trailer, because y'all couldn't see it. Don't hate. Don't hate. But nah. I'm just messing around, y'all. I'm trying to buy some time because I'm bored and I need to get into this dock over here. I want to show you guys. Because this spot right here, yeah, this shit's tight, y'all. This shit's tight. But I'm going to do a U-turn right here. I'm going to do a U-turn and pull on up as far over there as possible, and then I'm on a 90-degree back into that dock down there that's tied up on that thing. So once they get back from lunch break, I'll show you guys, but I think now it's a good time for me to go on lunch break. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a rainy day today. Y'all can look at them clouds. It's a little windy, but I just wanted to show y'all this. The sun was up a couple minutes ago when I backed into this dock, and now it is pitch, well, not pitch black, I'm over exaggerating, but it's pretty damn dark. It's a little bright down there, but it looks like the bad weather is going the way that I'm going to be going when I leave here. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll mount this thing somewhere, so just in case I get some action, I can let you guys see it too. All right, y'all.